Okay, hi guys. It's me, Molly, the mini queen, and I call myself the mini queen because I wanted something that was cuter than just my name. I'm not the mini queen because I think I'm so good at this. I'm the mini queen because I'm actually a queen. I'm Miss Tennessee, and I'm very, very into jewelry and crowns and acting and being theatrical. One thing but I'm not into, well, more than one thing, is I don't like selfies and I don't like making videos. But I love being in front of the camera when it comes to acting. So many people were requesting videos on how to make these minis, and they've been requesting them for about a year. I actually made a set of videos last year and deleted them because I hated doing it so much and they turned out awful. And I realized why. If I show you the process without showing you me, so the focus is on the minis, I'm gonna stop talking to you. I'm gonna stop telling you what I'm doing. I'm gonna stop interacting, and it's gonna be awful because I am a very intuitive based person. That's how I learned how to cook. That's how I learned how to do minis. So in order for these videos to actually look like something that are watchable and for you to actually learn or take tips, I'm gonna have to entertain you like I'm acting. So that's gonna have to be it. That's gonna have to work for all of us. I'm an introvert who hates selfies and hate making videos of myself. I love photography and I love doing this for other people, and I love acting. So this is the compromise. So today we are making, and I'm very forgetful, so if I have a lot of pauses in the video, I'm sorry. One day I'll learn how to edit it, but this is just my first video. This is just a trial run. Feedback is appreciated. We're making, what's that stuff called? What is that stuff called? It's called whipped clay. Yeah, we're making homemade whipped clay. Sorry, there's gonna be a lot of pauses. I don't do a lot of when I talk, but I do forget a lot of words if I'm not talking fast. But like I said, feedback is welcome. We'll grow together. So today we're making whipped clay. It is so simple. It's not the same chemical components as whipped clay that you'll buy from the store, but it does the exact same thing, and it's very cheap to do. It's very easy. I actually learned this from YouTube. I get a lot of my tips from YouTube. A lot of them. Because I'm not a miniverse person, I'm a miniaturist, which is different. I just like miniverse because the little items fit so well for my Barbie dolls, and I have loved Barbie dolls, and me and my niece and my sister, we love them so much. And I make Barbie dioramas, but I'm not a miniverse person per se, so I don't go out and buy every series. I don't even buy every piece in the series that I do like. A lot of it I prefer making myself, but I will say the appliance series, they make the cutest, cheapest Barbie items. And so I'm gonna teach you today how to do the whipped cream, which works as cake frosting, and it works as a refill for the ice cream machine. So it's very easy. Oh, and somebody did ask me if I would give a breakdown of items and materials used beforehand. And here's the thing. I am dyslexic. I have dyscalculia, I have dysgraphia, and I have attention deficit disorder. And like I said, I don't enjoy making these videos at all, but I do like the acting part, which means that I will be going with the flow of what I feel like in the moment, which means it might be 2 o'clock in the morning and I decide to teach you how to make something like a taco or a steak fajita, and I won't think about it beforehand. So it's not fun for me, and it just would turn into work if I give you a breakdown beforehand. But this stuff is so easy and so cheap. and I'll put a list of ingredients with the post so that you can go out and buy the stuff before you watch the video, if that helps you. So today, the main ingredients to make whipped clay at home are cornstarch, resin, and I really like this. Some people said they don't like this resin, but I really love it. I don't use the resin that comes in the miniverse kits, but you actually can for what I'm about to show you if you want to. But I like this. This dries so fast. I never have any trouble with it. I never have any issue with it. And then paint. This is my niece and nephew's paint, and my niece loves to mix colors, so I just let her do whatever she wants to do. This is Dollar Tree paint, and this is cheap cornstarch from Walmart. I don't use the best ingredients because I'm not rich, which is how I got into making my own mini foods, because I was just getting back into Barbie during the pandemic, and I was seeing all these people on IG. I did say all these people on IG who were doing Barbie collectibles, and I just fell in love with it again. And I said, oh, but the food grabbed me, maybe because I love to cook so much in real life. I'm a big back. My sister's a big back. So is my mama and my niece. All the women in my family are big backs, and the men too. It's a big back family. We love to eat. It's one of my love languages. In fact, if you don't like to eat or you can't cook, I probably won't be friends with you anymore. And I'm serious. So anyway, I fell in love with little tiny miniature food, and about the time that I started really getting back into collecting, I started with the 1/12 Barbie dolls, not the 1/6 scale, but the 1/12 scale, which were half the size of the miniverse scale. I started doing those first, and I was collecting them, and then miniverse came out, and I started seeing them everywhere, and so I was like, ooh, that's so cute for regular size Barbie dolls. So I bought $100 worth, which sounds like a lot, and it's not, because they're not expensive, but they're not the cheapest items either. So I bought a whole bunch of them, and my niece and nephew love doing the surprise balls. I guess they got that off YouTube, but they were helping me open them, and they said, can we do it? Can we put it together? They were like 3 and 5 at the time, and I said, no, this costs too much. And I put the ingredients back together, and I kept them, and I would let them pull it out periodically over the course of about a year and play with it. And then I decided, well, I guess I can start making my own. And I was really into collecting those mini brands. So I had a lot of those because I could buy those really cheap resale, and I had a lot of those. So I started making a Barbie grocery store, and then I realized that the miniverse ingredients worked really well for a Barbie grocery store. And then I caught on that I could actually buy those resale too for a little bit cheaper. And so I joined all the miniverse groups, but I could not, in good conscience, because I am on a budget, spend money on those kits to make once. So one day I will show you a video of my miniverse / Barbie size grocery store. It's the cutest thing. And that's where all my kits go. They go in there, and they go in my miniverse / Barbie bakery coffee shop. So then I decided to learn how to make my own kits, and this is where we are today. So again today, and I do talk a lot, so I'm sorry, that's probably not going to go away. I do a lot of research when I try to learn a new skill. When I am learning a new skill, I do a lot of research. Not to say I'm an expert on it, but I do know enough to fill a lot of time with words. So I also don't measure anything. So if you're one of those, because I have dyscalculia, so I don't like numbers at all. I don't measure when I cook, and I don't measure when I do my minis. If you're one of those people that have to measure, you're not going to learn anything from me if you're a stickler to that. So I'm using a toothbrush right here. It's a clean toothbrush. It's never been used in my teeth, but I like to use it because it adds texture when I make my little breads, and something I'll show in a different video. But today we're going to start off with the basic recipe that I learned from the lady on YouTube. So you take cornstarch, and I like these little mixing cups that I get from the Dollar Tree. You get a whole pack of them for $1.25. A lot of my ingredients come from the Dollar Tree. I'm really doing something when I'm going to Walmart and spending a little bit more money. And then I accidentally glued this on here. I'm a mess. I'm a messy, messy person when I do my minis. And I'm a messy, messy person when I cook. My dad says I use every dish in the kitchen. I do. So you just take some UV resin and do like this. Then you take whatever color that you would like this to be. And I'm using pink because it's the first one I picked up. And then you add the color. Because this is resin, I have designated old paint brushes that I have glued the ends to, so they don't really work anymore for paint brushes for the use of painting. Then you take it and you mix. And you mix until you get the consistency that you would like. So this right here is a little bit thick, and that's okay, because all you do is you add a little bit more resin if you want to. But I think this is a very nice consistency for ice cream. And when it's thick like this, and like I said, it's up to you for how you want it. If you want this, sometimes I'll use this consistency for a soup base or a sauce or something, and I'll make it very thin. Sometimes I'll make it thicker because of what I want it for. But this right here is probably a good consistency for a little ice cream. And so we're gonna do, maybe, let's see. I wanna try this before I mess up my little machine. I actually don't use the miniverse machines. I let the kids put stuff in them, but I don't use them to make anything because I can usually make everything without the machine. It's just for looks of Barbie. So we're gonna take this, and to get our soft serve, we're just gonna kind of swirl it around. And this is the first layer. See? So this one, it looks like it's actually a little bit too thin to set up, but it's perfect for a base layer for ice cream. So you set that up, and let's add a little bit more to see if I can get a swirl on the top. And like I said, there's no measuring with this. If you want to come up with a recipe, you can. But we're gonna add a little bit more. Do it to what they say on TikTok, to your ancestors say good. As I would say, my grandmother says good. This is how she taught me how to cook. No, very few recipes unless it's baking, very few. So this is a little bit thicker or stiffer, whichever word you would like to use. This is kind of a cookie dough consistency now. And that's the thing about this is you have to keep going until you get the right consistency that you want. So I need like a drop more of this just to kind of wet it out. Yep. And then you know what this would be good for? Little cake balls. This one is almost empty. There we go. And you can also do this. You can try, I haven't tried, but you could kind of do this with the resin that comes with the kits and turn that into clay. But I can't guarantee how that's gonna set up because you wouldn't have to add paint to it because it's already colored. But at the same time, I'm hearing that it's hard to get that resin to set. This resin sets so well. Even with the paint and the cornstarch, it's gonna set, and it's not gonna shrink or anything. And you might wanna add some clear resin to the outside if you want like a kind of glossier look. But or nail polish, which is what I use sometimes. So now we have this that is a little bit thicker. So this is like the consistency of scoopable ice cream. We'll see how this will work for a second. I'm not gonna do that. Change my mind. See, I change my mind when I'm doing stuff. I would love to just sit here and let my mind wander while I do these little while I'm making this, but I can't because you guys are not mind readers. But I am a crafter. I'm a crafter. It is very hard to sit and try to keep these people, try to keep you guys entertained while I do these recipes. Okay, so here we have, let's get a little ice cream cone. In another video, I will show you how to make the little ice cream cones. But you kind of do this, you do a little swirl. See, I'm forgetting that you guys are watching while I'm doing this. You can use the machine. I just don't like putting messy stuff in the little machines because they have to be cleaned out. I don't really feel like doing it, but as you can see, you get a little, you're starting to see the little soft swirl. There we go. You have to build these up too if you're not going to use the machine. So that is my first little layer. Let's add some more to it. Can you see it? Can you see? Isn't it cute? Then you take it and you start swirling it up. And then you have a little soft serve. You have a little soft serve ice cream. And it'll set and it'll stay hard because it has the resin in it. It'll take, that's why I like this one, this brand of resin, because it does set so fast. No matter what I put in it, it will always set. I never have an issue. Within, I would say it wouldn't even take an hour to get this to set up on a sunny day. It's not sunny today, but it wouldn't even take an hour to get this to set up. But I might need it to set up before I start, building it a little bit higher. So that's the thing, because I'm not using the machine, I'm doing this by hand. And so if my niece was here, she'd be trying to put the little sprinkles on it and everything. We'll do a little decorating in another video. Because I can talk a lot. This video is also almost 18 minutes already. And so I'm trying to keep them as short as possible because I know people don't want to just kind of hear people talk all the time. And I'm one of those people, when I watch videos, I'll always say, could you just stop talking and show me what I Googled you for? So I will try to do that. I do understand, but this was the first video, so I was trying to do a little introduction to what you can expect in these videos. So here you go with the little ice cream. And if I was off camera, I would do all the little cute stuff and swirl it up, but I don't feel like it. And I think you can figure stuff out for yourself. But oh, there I go. Like the third or fourth time I said that video. I hate misrepresenting myself. I usually don't say that often, but like I said, when I'm doing this, I'm wanting to go into my head. And you just kind of swirl it around to get the little soft serve look. This is very cute, but I would have to sit and work with it to give it, the complete soft serve look. But let's try. I know people are going to want to see this, be like, what's the point of having a machine if you're not going to use the machine? Like I said, I use the machines for set decoration. I am a Barbie person or a miniaturist before I am a miniverse person. And I will always go from that point of view first. Then we're trying to swirl this around. It's kind of looking more like a little rose. I like that. I like that look. You add little sprinkles to it if you want to. I'm not going to touch this anymore. I would sit this in the window and let this kind of dry out. And there you have your little ice cream. So let's try it in the machine. I think that I don't want to. Somebody else try it in the machine and then let me know how it goes. I don't want to do it. I don't want to mess the machines up. If you get mad and you'll be like, do it, then I'll come back and do it. I'll work it out. I just don't like using them. Like I said, I'm not a miniaturist, or I am not a miniverse person. So this is good spreadable ice cream. Now you could make this a little bit stiffer and use it as scoopable ice cream, but I wouldn't do that. For scoopable ice cream, I would honestly take some Play-Doh. This is actually Play-Doh. I usually get the very cheap packs from the Dollar Tree, but this actually came from the Dollar Tree. It was $3 for this pack, but the cheap dollar store brand is only $1.25 for four colors. So you take your little scooper and you take it and you put it in the ice cream. I call it ice cream. And then you put it in our little makeshift cone, and then you pull it out, and there you have scooped ice cream. And it makes a little cutest little Barbie scoop thing. I'll do a close-up. I'll post pictures close-up of everything when I'm finished. I'm more so into photography than videography anyway. Like I said, we're learning together. But then you put it in there, and so you can put as many scoops as you want. But I would say if you're going to make it high, then you need an adhesive. And for stuff like this, I'll actually use Rapid Dry Top Coat from the Dollar Tree. It's a really good adhesive, a very, very good adhesive. And because it dries really fast, or I'll use regular glue if I don't need something that dries really fast. What I do not use as an adhesive is UV resin, because think about it. If you're using it as an adhesive, then you're either gonna have to pour a lot on it and make the food look soaking wet, like it has covered in gravy and sauces, and personally I don't like that look. Or you're gonna have to do a lot of angles and try to get it to dry in between the foods. And then I've seen a lot of people say, I didn't actually cure, and then the top fell off and it was still bubbly and runny down on the inside. That doesn't happen with this. This will dry completely. This will cure completely, because I'm not using it as an adhesive. I'm using it as a binder for the paint and the cornstarch, which works a little bit different. And it's all facing the sun. The sun gets all of it. It dries out even down in here. It'll adhere to the ice cream because it has the ice cream cone, because it has the resin in it. But it's very hard for the sun or whatever to cure when you have something hard, whole on top of it. So I would suggest using something like this. Do all your scoops at once and then put them on there. Now, the question I always get is, doesn't Play-Doh shrink? Does it really dry? The questions I always get, does it shrink? Does it dry? Yes, it shrinks, because it's Play-Doh. It is a dough. All dough will dry out. Clay is different, but this is a dough. Clay, polymer clay is better. It's also much more expensive. And like I say, I'm on a budget, so I get the $1.25 Dollar Tree or the $3 Play-Doh from the Dollar Tree. But I buy these 4 at a time, and this is a great sealant. You take a little bit of this and you take a little brush, or you put gloves on and you take your finger, which is honestly the best way to do this, and you rub it around. Not too much, because the thing with resin is it works better. At first I didn't use it because if you put too much on there, then it smooths out the texture, unlike this, which dries like a glue. So it dries matte and it'll dry and show the texture, but it won't hold up as long. So it depends on what you want to use it. Now that I sell items to clients, I had to more so start, whoops, I'm also clumsy. I had to more so start using this as a sealant. Otherwise it would break down, which I hate because it's a little bit messier, it's a little bit stickier. And then if I'm sealing something at 2:30 in the morning, which sometimes I do, then I have to wait until the next day to sit it outside. Whereas the nail polish seals very fast. So a lot of times what I've started doing is, if I need it sealed in place right then and the sun is not out, then I will use this, and then I will take this and put it on top later after this has dried. Then I will stick it in the sun, but I will use, and then after I put it on there, I will kind of take a paper towel or a washcloth, one of my throwaway cloths, and dab it around so that it doesn't smooth over the texture like I put a sauce on it, so that it will still have a texture. It'll be glossy, it'll be much glossier, so that's something to be careful of. But if you're doing a food where you don't want it to be glossy later, then take some cornstarch after you seal it with the UV, you rub it on there and it'll take a gloss away, and then you just kind of take a paper towel or one of your throwaway cloths and you smooth it off, and then you'll have the matte look, but it'll be sealed and you won't have to worry about it. And yes, this works very, very well. And so let's see. I think that is it for how to make whipped clay. Again, you can also try this, and I'm not guaranteeing this method. I'm just saying, if you have a lot of this MV resin, then you can take it and you can use the cornstarch, and that way you don't have to use the paint. You mix it together and see if it'll set. I do not guarantee that. You might get something. I have no idea. I don't know. You can try it. Let us know if it works out for you. This is the method that I prefer. And also, if you make this a little bit runny, it makes great cake frosting. This is a cake that I started frosting about 2 weeks ago. Minis are not my full-time job, it's just a hobby. So I do it when I feel like it. This is a miniverse cake that I never use the resin that comes with miniverse. I don't like it. I won't get started on it. But because of the nature of the frosting and how messy I am, I can only do it like a real cake. So this is the crumb layer, and then I'm gonna have to go back and smooth on the layer, the top, the pretty layer, like a real cake. And this is the thing about miniverse. It comes with the cutest little utensils. And so I really was, I think it was like 10 o'clock at night, where I was taking my homemade whipped clay. It's not really called that, but we'll call it that for purposes of the audience that I'm talking to right now. And I was just smoothing it on there, and this is how I make my real cakes. And I started getting hungry for cake, and this is how I went from a size 0 to a size 4 since in COVID. And I'm definitely not happy about that, because I've just been eating cake since I moved back with my family, because they request cakes and cookies all the time. They love it when I cook, because I love to cook as much as I love to make minis. I'm a really good cook. I've only been doing minis I started at the tail end of 2023, so it's over a year, but I don't do it all the time. So I would say it's only been about 9 months that I've been doing this, that I've been learning. So I'm still learning with you guys, but I like to share my tips because excuse me, I see a lot of people on Beyonce's internet who are overcharging for the cheapest items. And a lot of times, you know, miniverse, it's hard to get refills. And I just kind of want to help you guys out. And I know with the economy, it's very expensive for me to just sell kits or sell finished products. A lot of the people in the Barbie groups would prefer doing that. They'll just buy things that I've already made. But I know in the miniverse group, you get joy from making this. So ugh, there goes the again. But every time I say it's because I'm going into my head and I want to really stop talking. I want you guys to have the knowledge base that I get to sit down and Google, do research on. Because when I get into a new hobby, I do a lot of research on it. I know a lot of people don't have the option. I am a stay-at-home auntie mommy, so I do not have to work. I am retired from the military. So when I want to sit down and make minis, I'll sit down for like 7 hours in the day, like it's a job. And I may do that for maybe something around 3 days in a row. Then I won't touch it again for 2 weeks. So that's where we are. But since you asked for these videos, I will try my best to be consistent and hold up to my name. Now, this video is going on 31 minutes. I will try my best not to make the other videos so long, but you do need, some people kind of do need to be walked through how to make recipes. I'm not really one of those people, so I was trying to circumvent any questions that I think I would get later on, and I'm pretty sure I probably didn't get them all. So leave questions, comments, follow me on here, follow me on TikTok. When I get every 1,000 followers, I'll get it on TikTok. Then I will start doing giveaways of little miniverse kits that I make, and they're very, very cute. They're very, very cute. Hold on a second. Ooh! This crown is heavy. Like, this is a charcuterie, this is a crudité board that I'm making. Everything on here besides the little mushrooms, I bought those, is handmade by me. And so you would get a kit like this. I haven't finished it yet, but look how cute that is. It is much bigger than the miniverse charcuterie boards. This is a crudité board. So it would be something like this. And you would get the little sauces. And then you wouldn't get it fully made. You would just get all these little individual items. And I will eventually show videos on how to make the good broccoli. I saw a video where Miniverse was trying to do it, but they actually stole the recipe from a creator. I say stole. She put it out there. That's where I got the recipe from. They didn't do it very well. So I'll show you how to do it right. How to make the broccoli correctly. But you see, I made a lot of little stuff, and I'm still trying to decide what else I want to put on here. And you get the little boards, you get all of this. Or you could have something like the charcuterie board, which has little tiny shrimp and little rolled meats and everything. It's very adorable. You know, every 1,000 followers that I get on TikTok, just because TikTok will pay me, and the more followers I get, the more I will be paid for this. So that would help me out. So tell your friends. And I hope you enjoyed this video. I am so sorry I talk so much. But like I said, I'm trying to circumvent any questions because like I said earlier, I am dyslexic. So sometimes it is very hard for me to get on posts. And I do try to do this and answer any questions. It's very hard. So I've gotten to the place where I answer as many questions as I can. If your question wasn't answered, I couldn't get to it, and I'm sorry. Or it was already answered in the post. So I've had a lot of people ask me questions and the information is already in the post. So if you could read the post before you read the post in full and then read it again. And I do this because I'm dyslexic. then ask me the question. I don't have time to sit there and give the same information over and over. I'm doing a lot right now. Maybe I'll show other videos on the other things I'm doing. I'm DIYing my house and garden right now. I just bought a house last year, and my aesthetic is British colonial meets glam. It's very extra, just like me. Anyway, that's what I have for you. If I didn't answer your question, please leave it in the comments and I will try to get to them. I have my niece and nephew that really hate it because they're like, Auntie Maddie, why are you on your phone? It's for you guys. You guys, I love you. I hope this was entertaining. It was very long, but I hope you liked it. And the next videos, I'll try to get straight to the point. Okay? All right. Bye.